Why are we bolting signs onto trees? Just spoke to a lovely little man there that was telling me that the pathway along there's quite a lot of trees down from the storm the other night, so I've decided to walk quite far up the hill a little while. I'll go up a little bit. Look at this tree. I feel like today there's been a lot of reflection. I've kind of felt this sense of just a feeling of introspection, a feeling of, okay, it's hard to put into words exactly what it is. It's hard to put it into words. So maybe I won't have that many words, actually. One thing that I have been reflecting on this morning is that I have always felt different. I've always felt like I never really belonged anywhere. I felt like I've never really belonged anywhere, you know, in like a community of people. And maybe because I have moved around so much, I remember when I was about 11, I used to lie in my bed at night and count all the houses that I lived in. And I would get to about 19, then I'd fall asleep. So rather than counting sheep, I'd be counting houses. So I don't know if that's got something to do with it, or whether it's something that humans can often feel, especially in an already severed society. That waterfall's gorgeous. Can you hear it? I find I get more from one-to-one conversations. I get more fulfillment from spending time with a human, kind of more one-on-one. I don't quite know what to do with myself when there's a group of people. I don't really know where to slot myself in. It's probably why I avoid them. When I was doing my priestess training, I found it very challenging, spending a whole weekend, and everybody was so lovely. Everybody was so beautiful, you know, everybody was just so lovely. And it felt good, you know, being seen. It felt good to be part of it, but it was also really challenging, and I didn't fancy doing that all the time. this is where I feel most connected. This is where I feel less alone. This is where my heart breaks open. I'm aware that I feel like crying, and I'm also aware there's a camera and whether I might end up with an ugly cry. But this is like the second time I've cried this morning. And I was out with the dogs, 6:30 this morning. It was dark, and I was hold on, I can see people up ahead. I think it's cows on the road. I think there's some cows coming down off the hills. I might go up and have a look before I start. Yeah, it's 4 legs. Okay, so there's a farmer coming down, and that's the road I plan on going up. So bear with me a little second. There's so much activity this morning. There's so much happening up here in the fields. I think there must be another farmer over there with the sheep. You can hear them all making a lot of noise, and then these guys here, I can't actually show you, but there's about 12, there's a wee herd of cattle of 12 heading up that way. But yeah, I was slightly distracted with all the noise. I feel like I just want to be right in the middle of nowhere, where I don't hear any sounds, and I don't hear any people, and I don't hear anything. I just, but up that hill there, that exists. I just have to put a bit of effort in getting up there first. Do you hear all those sheep? So yeah, I've been reflecting a lot about these things this morning. Oh my God, the noises seem so loud. Oh my God, there's a bunch of runners coming down off that hill where I would normally never see anybody, and there's about 12 runners coming down off the hill, and I just feel like I am being squashed by human activity. So annoying, they're coming down this way as well. I can hear them. I just want silence. I just want to go somewhere where there is no one and no noise, and there's somebody running up this way too. So it was actually really nice when they passed by, and I got to say good morning to them, and they said good morning back, and they were smiling and I was smiling, and that felt really nice. It felt really nice to say hello and just to acknowledge them as well, just to acknowledge each other. It was nice. But I do still crave, I'm still craving that isolation, and I think it's because, the agitation probably comes because I've literally got this is massive, right? Massive, having 2 hours to myself. So I've got 2 full hours after I drop my girl off at horse riding. She's got 2 hours there, and I'll pick her back up. So that gives me time to myself, and I do feel quite guilty about it, because I'm aware that the stuff that John needs to get done as well, and my other girl's still in bed unwell. So it's a hard, I find it a really hard thing to balance my needs and other people's needs. I find it really hard. But I'm up here right now, and I'm up here in the hills, and I have felt like I just want to be completely by myself. Completely. So as I turned about from coming down the hill, the farmer was in feeding the sheep, and the cattle was crossing, and the runners were coming. So I've decided just to continue on back down the hill, and maybe I'll find a little spot somewhere and see if I can talk to you from there.
Everyone is dressed up here, but looks so dumb. Lost in a room where my shadow drowns. So glad I found you there in the crowd. All I wanted was a little connection.
Right, this is it. I've been up here before a long time ago. and in this field I saw a fox in broad daylight. So I know this is the wild here. This is where I need to be, just a little bit far away from human activity, apart from any signs of human activity, i.e. signs bolted into trees saying whatever it is it says. God, I saw one this morning. I was so annoyed when I saw it. I was like, why are we bolting signs onto trees? Anyway, I'm leaving civilization behind. It's pretty much just minutes away, but already I can feel it. Already I can feel that call of the wild.
Everyone is dressed up here, but looks so dumb. Lost in a room where my shadow drowns. So glad I found you there in the crowd.
So when I eventually get time to myself, it's really, really important for me to do the things that fill me up, to do the things that really nourish me. I don't often go away and meet friends for social activities. Very rarely. I don't do it alone. I will maybe meet my friend and take my daughter somewhere, because I know then they are receiving something as well. But very rarely will I do something by myself with a friend. When I do something by myself, it's usually getting out into nature. And I think that's why I was slightly annoyed this morning, because there was people around and I just wanted this. I wanted to know that it was just me and myself and my own personal plug-in to recharge. There's obviously been lots of damage down there, so I'm going to find it a little bit to sit at. Right away in the distance there, the right hand side is Glasgow, and if you go that way it's Edinburgh, and my battery is going really low in this camera. This is just like another version of when I was little and I used to go up into the fields and go up into the cows where they were, and I used to sing to them. And then I used to sit in nature and just like talk to myself. And then I would talk to the trees, and then I would talk to the animals that I could imagine were there. This is like another version of it, because I'm talking to you guys. Through space and time. It's kind of cool. It's really cool because like in a few years' time, you know, this stuff will still exist and the energy of it will still carry. So I really like that. I really like that. So I think I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to spend some time here completely alone and sit nice and still and let my whole body reset. So let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe you might want to shed, maybe you will shed. You might want to share something that's just, I mean, you know what, you might not even know what it is that's kind of brought that emotion up, brought those tears up, brought that release up. You might know what it is, and you might not. Maybe you'd like to share something like that. Maybe you'd like to share where you are in the world. Yeah. Anyway, go and have a great day, okay? Thank you so much for being here. Again, I really appreciate it so much. Thank you for all your support.